done doing this, go over there.
I shouldn't be interviewing you about this car that you've been videoing.
I know BMWs and BMWs only. This interview's over.
That's not a BMW. All right, we're gonna do this a little backwards today. So we got John here. Hi, John. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you guys.
Where are you actually from?
Long Island, New York.
Okay.
So like 2.5 hours from here.
All right,
So
not too bad.
yeah.
So we're in New Jersey. We're actually here for Formula Drift. I'm just gonna pretend like I didn't see what engine is in this. I'm just gonna pretend like I didn't see that, and I'm gonna jump in. You mind if I take it for a spin? I like how just kind of like force. Oh, I like this Lego too. This black chrome Lego.
Yeah.
Whoa, this key. It's very old school.
I have another key for the car, but it's not cut yet. But I'll show it to you.
Huh.
I just got it in the mail.
It is an old school key. Whoa.
Yeah, I still need to find someone that I trust to cut it, but the factory option key.
No way.
Yeah.
Huh. All right, so let's take it for a spin. This is a Nissan Laurel / Yanni, right?
That's it.
The
Spot on the money.
the Yanni. Remember it
Yeah,
was
yep,
Laurel,
yep.
Yanni,
I
Laurel,
love it.
Yanni. If you guys remember that, it's a what is that? A 2019 internet thing? Let's try this thing. Okay. All right. There's a lot of. I'm taking a lot of things in right now. I've never driven a Laurel. Okay. As you know, I'm a big Nissan guy. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things we can talk about here. You know, it's interesting. These gauges totally remind me of my R32.
So you want to laugh? That Nismo cluster is a cut-up R32 GTR Nismo cluster that I wanted the 260 kilometer per hour.
Yeah.
Because this only went up to 180, I think it was. The speedo cable actually broke on the way here, ironically enough. But in addition to that, we added a shift light in the middle.
Yeah,
So
I see it's 3D printed.
Yep. Yeah, I wanted something like an OEM plus kind of feel to the car, and there's also no gauges in the car. You know, no boost gauge, no AFR, no anything else. Just have that, you know, kind of like street style, you know.
I love the accessories. I love the
VIP tray.
Yeah, the VIP tray.
Yep.
I'm surprised you don't have any yen just sitting here.
In that coin thing, I think
Oh.
I might. There's a 50-50 chance there might be some in there.
Oh yeah, you do.
there- yeah,
Some
those regular
yennies
change,
and
yeah.
some other things. Okay, all right. Let's.
There's no IAC in the car, so you might have to feather the gas. We'll probably stall.
I'm not gonna go crazy. I just want to
Yeah.
experience it. I have to wait for that, right?
No, you're good.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess it's different on different
Yeah, this
RVs.
one. Yeah. That's the
Oh,
IAC. Just
oh.
keep giving it a little gas.
Got it.
Shut off and then reprime one more time. Yep, now go for it.
Oh, okay. Let me
it
put
light.
my
Yeah.
seatbelt on first. Can only do one thing at a time.
Prime one more time. Yeah. Don't be afraid to hurt it.
Okay. So far, so good. So far, it sounds like a RB. Very good tone. It feels like it has 1,000,000 horsepower, honestly.
It's not 1,000,000, but it makes a little bit of power. You can get on as much as you want. The boost is regulated by the throttle position, so if you're going to get on it, floor it.
Talk about rushing air noise. Like, oh my God.
The turbo's got a T51R mod on it, so it gets the big suck.
Jeez.
Don't shift it until 7, and don't touch the clutch until 7.
Until 7.
Yeah.
Why?
That's, I think the red line's at 72, and there's a clutch flat foot shifting cutout on the pedal, so it's a little sensitive.
Don't shift until 7.
Yep.
But that's when you're flooring it.
Floor it. Keep it floored. Shift at 7.
Oh my God. You are a madman, sir. What the hell?
Yeah, it makes
I
a
am
little bit
so
of power.
blown away right now.
And it drives like a normal car when you're not in boost.
What just happened? We like went back in time just now.
Yeah. Lighting fire on the ground.
Oh my God, it's so loud too. It
Yeah,
sounds amazing.
It screams a little bit.
This is nothing like a stock RB. Like, stock RBs are so lame compared to this.
Yeah, this one likes to open up a little bit.
Jeez.
Yeah. Same thing.
What the? It hits red line so fast you
Yep.
barely have enough time to shift to
enjoy
third.
it. Yeah. It makes all its power a little over 35, but it feels like a normal, like, you know, like an RB20
Jeez.
almost at the bottom end, and then you're like, what the hell's this?
What the hell is this? What the hell even is this?
All of you!
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
So it's a RB25 Neo.
What the?
Stock engine besides head gasket and head studs, the Tomei head gasket and ARB head studs. Go for it.
Oh my God. All right. So I've driven fast R34s,
Yeah,
fast
yeah.
R32s, but this, it just hits different.
Yeah. The car feels a lot different than a Skyline for some reason, but they share a lot of the
It
same parts.
feels so different. I mean, maybe because it's like big and you can kind of feel the weight.
Yeah, you feel like pushing you.
Surprisingly, for it being rear-wheel drive, it has a lot of traction too.
Yeah, I got 255s in the back.
Wow. So, and then is this a R32 transmission?
It's an
or-
R34 transmission.
Okay.
I actually bought brand new from Nissan not too long ago.
Wow.
This car was factory auto car, and unfortunately didn't hold up to the power once we hit our goal and floor again.
It makes this weird, like, mechanical sound.
The transmission for the whole car.
Like, it's like, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know how to explain it. I think it's an escaping air sound.
Yep.
Almost
Yeah.
like the exhaust isn't big enough.
It's got an external wastegate up front, so that's probably what you're hearing. Yeah, so it dumps right out by the fender. Yeah, between that and then I got a 4-inch carbon fiber quick style motorsports intake on there, and then a massive AEM cone filter. And
I am so blown away right now. Like, I don't know how. I don't really know how to convey this. I'll try to put it into words later when we step out of the car.
Was this what you expected walking up to it?
I didn't expect that at all. That's the kind of the fun part of this,
Yeah.
you know.
You look at it, you don't really know what you're looking at
Yeah.
at first. No one knows what these things are.
The Nissan Laurel Yanni. I mean, but honestly, a lot of people actually modify these for like full drift duty, right?
Yep. Yeah, a lot of the guys friends with do the same thing. They drift the crap out of theirs, but
And then when you're just cruising, it's not bad.
no, even at like 55 or so, it's tame. I put a little bit bigger of a turbo on it just so that way I can have that luxury of, you know, if I want
No
to take someone,
way.
you know, somewhere, you know, it's not a big deal.
Mind equals blown.
It's definitely a fun.
Do you remember what street it was? I forgot.
May have been. Keep going.
I think it's past this.
Should punch in my GPS quick.
Unbelievable.
You're not making this left, you're making the next left.
Okay, next left.
Not this one after.
Okay.
Pretty smooth for a 90s car though, right?
Yeah.
clutch 6-puck unsprung in there as well, but I put the Nismo Slave, so it actually feels decently pedal feel wise.
I'm speechless.
I'm glad I could have that effect on you. Yeah, it's definitely a fun car.
Whoa, it idles right now.
Yeah, when it's warm, it's fine.
Okay.
We just haven't worked out the kinks with the IAC because we put on a forward-facing manifold.
Oh.
So we're working.
I
on
didn't
a few
have to
things.
rev it like a
Oh no, you did
weirdo
one
though.
before you.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
All
we
right.
installed on us.
All right. Cool.
It's still got its little gremlins.
John, I'm speechless.
Yeah, it's definitely a little fun little car.
It's funny because I mentioned Yanni before I even saw your plate.
Yeah, that was one of the other guys, I think in Connecticut, had that plate, and I'm like, it's mine.
Yeah.
I need it. I need it.
I need that.
New York, it wasn't claimed, but yeah, that's my actual plate. I've had it now for 2
Wait,
years.
how is that even possible? This
So-
doesn't look like a New York plate.
So what this is it's actually in Japan they have the glow plates. I sourced a glow box, so the plate actually lights up. My buddy Anthony helped me CNC piece of aluminum. We infilled it with resin, so that way you could actually see the lights through it. It's reflective vinyl. The actual writing on it is in Japanese.
Right,
It
it's
says New York
it's
and then
katakana.
Excelsior. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, and then my actual plate, take a step back, is actually under here, just so I avoid
No
getting tickets.
way.
Yeah, if I drive far, I keep it, up. But if I'm driving local, yeah. So that's wired to my headlights and everything. It
Are you
matches.
kidding me? This is the coolest Easter egg.
And then it's the New York City skyline on the bottom, like it should be. But then the other side, I got the Mount Fuji,
Mount Fuji.
instead of Niagara Falls.
Right? It says New York.
Yeah, that was one of those things where I was like, it needs that aesthetic. It fits the car. And then this thing just tucks away. I think this is off like a Corvette, Universal Corvette plate fold down for the front, so that way you won't get a ticket on your vet. But
There's so much to uncover on this
Yeah,
car.
there's so
I
many
mean,
little things.
if you guys are ready, this is going to be 1 hour long of us talking about this Laurel. Jeez. Where to start? I mean, and on top of that, you just slap everyone in the face with an awesome bicycle.
Yeah, I just picked this one up not too long ago. My little beater fixie. It's got a 60 tooth on the front, just so I could, catch a little speed with it. But it's carbon fiber and aluminum, weighs 16 pounds. And it lasted 2.5 hours down here. I rode it a few miles this
Jeez.
morning, but I think it fits the aesthetic of the car, and
It as if it's not ridiculous enough,
it's just
John.
one more thing.
You've made it that much more ridiculous.
Yeah. No, I use this thing, pretty much every day of the car, so I needed to build around my lifestyle and not, it's got to hold up to me, so shit's getting shoved on top of it.
All right, let's just start with the basics. What year is this?
It's a 1991 Nissan Laurel.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you acquire it?
So I was looking for a Laurel for about 4 or 5 years. I bought this one 3 years ago now. Fed Legal Importers, guy in New York. He's in New York and Florida. He had it sitting on Facebook and Craigslist for I think a few months. When I got the car, quarter panel door were both destroyed. It was 100% bone stock, RB20 turbo automatic. But one of the key things I was looking for was the metalish trim package, which is the highest trim package for this car. A bunch of weird accessories, wood grain, the seatbelt on the passenger side unhooks. We'll get to that, I'm sure, at some point. But yeah.
But one of my favorite features about this, and this reminds me of the 8 Series, is the no B-pillar.
Yep. Yeah, that's exactly it.
But it's kind of interesting. They're like, well, this is the biggest window, or this is the lowest we could fit, or the lowest we can go down. It's not quite there.
The back window folds forward as it folds down, and every single person that looks at it thinks that my windows are broken.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah.
one of those
Well,
things
I didn't ask that because I know it's not broken, but
yeah,
I just think it's such a cool feature for
Yeah,
it to be
that clean,
no,
sleek look.
B-pillar.
The seatbelt, I'll show you quick while you're here, folds down.
What?
And then buckles up. Yeah.
How cool is that?
Only does it on this side, and it's only certain years and certain trim packages, but that was one of the things.
For what reason, though? You know, just
Style.
for it to look cool.
Yeah, just to look cool.
Yeah.
You didn't buy this car to not look cool.
It's weird for me to see this car and it doesn't have doilies on it.
Yeah,
you know?
I didn't want that look for this car, but I had an option to buy them a few times. They've come up, but it just didn't fit the aesthetic I was looking for.
Yeah.
So I think I tried to steer away from the old man ownership vibe, and you know.
I like what you've done, though. I
Thank
really
you.
like it. So, on body side, do you have to redo any of the?
Yeah, so when I bought the car, like I said, the door and quarter panel were both crushed. The car was in rough condition. It was definitely not ideal for, you know, looks. Believe it or not, this is an entire VS Aero eBay body kit. We ended up putting about 30 or 40 hours into fitment to get everything to line up and fit decent. In addition to that, trimmed it for the intercooler and all that stuff. The paint color on the top is the factory blue. I don't know the name offhand, but we added the two-tone cage one on the bottom, which is OEM Nissan GTR color for the same year.
No
But,
way.
Yeah, a lot of them came factory with a white with like a goldish gray bottom, and I just wanted something to fit that 90s vibe, you know, of like a street style car. And in addition, this is the fourth time I fixed the bumper. It's a lot easier to repair the gray or match the gray than the blue.
Yeah,
So it
because
makes
you probably couldn't even find that.
The paint, I had someone mix it custom.
All right.
So it was a little bit of a headache, but we were able to get it.
So what do people think when they see you on the street in this? Because when people see me in my GTR in Los Angeles, they
Yeah.
think I'm driving an old Nissan Sentra
Yep.
or like a Maxima or
Yeah.
something, right?
Yep.
What do they think when they
So
see this?
I get a mixed response. A lot of people could care less and they think I'm an old guy, you know, just like an old beater car that doesn't make a difference. Then every once in a blue moon, I get like that one young kid or that one, you know, really hardcore enthusiast that knows exactly what the car is. I'm pulling over, I'm talking to them, they're flagging me down. A lot of times at night, you know, you see people and they get a quick glimpse. A very popular response because of the big Laurel logo on the hood is that a Lexus.
Right.
And everybody thinks it's some sort of Lexus.
Yeah, I love all the little details like that. On top of that, it says Laurel since 1968. There's certain things on this that kind of give away the fact that it is modified, right? Including the Blitz intercooler.
Yep.
But I love all the little JDM touches that you've also added to this,
you.
including the parking indicator.
Yeah.
Does that light up still?
That one, the bulb burned out recently. I'm trying to source the correct bulb for it. But that one is a real deal OEM. I think Nissan's actually stamped right on the front on it.
Oh, nice.
When I got the car, it just had the bracket, and I was so upset. And I'm like, this car had it from the factory. I got to make it work, you know. So I was able to source one. It's in decent condition for what it is, but it's all wired up and everything too.
I love
So,
that.
yeah.
And then like the
Yeah.
heart theme that you've kind of
Brought to the car.
brought to the car
Yeah.
from, including like the exhaust tips, is just so JDM. It doesn't get any more JDM than this. So how did you get these?
So these, I actually made a set myself around last year, and I can't weld. There's a bunch of videos online of me screen welding. That's become one of my things that make me who I am. That was a screen weld project. My friend Anthony, the Alfa Romeo, would not let me put them on the car because the car deserved better. He spent 6 hours on each one, cutting a piece of metal, opening them up, you know, getting perfect to a T, using stainless, and he treated the tips.
It looks so good.
Yeah, we were looking for like a, you know, a very clean, fit the car kind of look. We
No
angled them perfect.
kidding.
It's a vibrant exhaust, vibrant muffler. He made me a full 3-inch exhaust too from the turbo back. Yeah.
And then of course you have the Subway.
Yep, of course. Yeah,
handle.
I gotta have that.
You gotta
Authentic
have
one.
that.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
a, you know, not a knockoff.
Huh.
So.
Okay. So, jeez. All right. Tell me about the wheels. These are really
Okay.
special.
Yeah. So those are real deal Ray's LMGT3s. They are 17 by 8 in the front, 17 by 9 in the rear. I found them out of an importer in where was it, California. He shipped them out to me. When I got them, they were terribly beat up. We actually refinished the faces. I hand painted the Nismo logos and everything into it. In addition to that, all new hardware. Anthony also picked up a 25-inch throw lathe. We just polished the lips not too long ago. But the weird thing about these that everyone goes crazy about is they're actually 4-bolt wheels. Usually when you see any Allen wheels, they're 5-bolt, but these were spec'd specifically for a S13 at the time. I think these were 1998 production model or 1991.
So they were specifically made.
They were specifically optional wheels for 240 when they came out. In addition to that, the center caps, I didn't have them when I got the wheels. We designed those from scratch using photos we found.
Yeah, I
and they're
see.
3D printed.
I see
They're a little
that you
chewed
3D
up.
printed this.
Yeah, they're a little chewed up because we're working with tolerances. We're in the process of making an aluminum set, but just to get out here, we figured, fit the look.
No,
get it going good.
that's really cool. And
Yeah.
from far away, you can't even tell.
Yeah, you look
But
at it quick and it's...
I'm actually surprised that this car from the factory didn't have 5 lug.
Yeah, I think the generation after this is 5-lug, but everyone converts them because they use the same parts as a 240 or an S13 or a R32. But I wanted this specific set of wheels for this car, and I found them in 4-lug first, and it just fits the car.
Are these 300ZX brakes?
Those are 300ZX brakes. Yeah, we scalloped the rotors just to let a little heat out, but without having the look of cross-drilled and slotted rotors because I didn't want to take away from the wheels. They're painted to match the valve cover, of course, the Millennium Jade, but just same thing front and rear. Yeah.
Huh.
Try to do stuff a little bit different than the average person, so anything we can do will make it happen.
Can we check out the engine bay?
Absolutely. Let me pop the hood for you.
I don't really know how to explain it because, the big single turbo RBs, when you're driving them, they have this sound to them. I've had a chance to drive, as I mentioned when we were driving.
Yeah.
I've had a chance to drive a couple nice RB cars,
big power cars,
and also especially the ones that have massive lag, which I absolutely love.
Yeah.
In terms of driving feel, I get it. It's a lot slower, but in terms of kicking yourself in the ass every single time you drive, it's honestly the most fun ever. But this gave me that same feel, but it for some reason it sounded different. It sounded a lot more mechanical and had more of that rushing air sound. And it wasn't as like that. There's that RB tone, the inline 6 tone that you get when we were driving this just normally, or when you free rev it, it has that tone. But when you get on it, oh my God, it's like the world is ending.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big rush, like you said. It actually has equal length manifold on it, so that definitely helps give it that distinct sound. And I got a Tile 38mm wastegate on there too, so it dumps right now atmospherically, so you definitely hear it, but it's on top of that, it just has that weird, unnatural but natural feeling to it, I guess is a good way to describe it. Yeah.
I love what you've done with the shift lights. It actually, I see it out of the corner of my peripheral vision, and it's bright enough where I can actually see that, okay, it's time to shift soon,
Yeah, the big thing with that was to not distract me as a driver, because I only really need it when I beat on the car. I would take it to the track, but I don't have to take my eyes off the road, and it's directional in line. All the LEDs are slightly angled up too.
So when you say take it to the track, what do you actually do when you take it to the track?
I drag race the car.
Really?
I got a set of 26-inch slicks for the back, a set of 15-inch Enkeys, and I drag race the car.
With the bike on the back?
No. I don't think they would let me, but yeah.
Okay, so tell me what's going on here. It says RB26, but this is actually RB25.
Yep, this is RB25 Neo. Basically, it came out of a Stegia, I think in 99, 98. I got the long block from an importer in New York City, I think JDM New York, if I remember correctly. Got it, pulled it apart, did a Tomei head gasket, ARP head studs. Besides that, the engine is completely stock. I got it during the beginning of COVID, so I was going to source cams, but then it turned into a, do I want this car to idle weird? Ironically, with the IAC, it does idle weird. But I wanted the car to be very drivable and normal, tamed. I did a deep motor intake manifold, just a standard, stamped one, nothing crazy. I got a set of 750 injectors on there. It is a Rev 9 exhaust manifold with a Tomei wastegate, and it's a Pulsar GTX Gen 2 3076. I had issues with coolant lines. I repaired all those, so made all the steel, braided. The intake setup is from the guys over at Quickstyle Motorsports. They're super helpful. They're able to, I think they produced the carbon fiber ones.
This is so nice.
Yeah, with a nice AEM dry filter on there too. So that's why it's the turbo also has the T51R mod. So that's where they, cone out the inside so you hear that rushing air, a lot deeper, which, you're able to hear inside the car, which is just a whole different feeling.
Yeah, I also love you're matching your brakes with the Millennium Jade.
Yeah.
For the valve cover.
We repainted the whole valve cover when we did it, and I got the OEM correct color badge for the nurse spec, the gray one instead of the R33, R34 standard black badge. Luckily, all the parts are still available, so it's nice to source everything and get it. The weird thing about this cover too is we shaved the CAS, so there's no CAS on the front of this engine. The bumps here for the intake cam for the Neo, but yeah, we shaved that because we have a pickup down there on the crank for the Mega Squirt. So we had issues with the CAS, and we ended up deleting it, and I didn't want to source someone else's product, so we used our skill set to make our own pickup setup.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then what about the suspension?
So the suspension right now are literal eBay coilovers, because I couldn't justify spending $2,000 on coilovers and living in New York where they seize in a week. So it's been on these for 2 years, and I haven't had an issue, surprisingly.
I'm gonna say it. It drives pretty good. Honestly, it drives pretty good.
I messed with the spring rates when I got the coils. I bought different springs. A lot of people think you could just slap the stuff on, but if you kind of work with what you have, you can make it work really nice.
Well, first of all, what surprises me is the fact that eBay coilovers fit on a Laurel.
S13.
Yeah,
same as 240. That was a big
okay.
thing when I got the car. I'm like, I need something that I could still get parts for. And I can't find weather strips, but I can get suspension parts.
Yeah.
I blew out a sway bar link I was able to get from AutoZone.
No
stuff
way.
like that. Yep, yeah, it's crazy,
So that, because the front subframe is
Exactly. Yeah, it's the same suspension, control arms, sway bar, what you call it, knuckles, all that's the same as the 93, 240. Yeah, that's what I use. Reference 91, 92. I think it is. Yeah.
Jeez, yeah, that's the whole thing when you go to AutoZone.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
It's like you ask for.
Yeah, they're like,
I don't know, something stupid, windshield wiper fluid or whatever, and they're like, "What year's the car?"
Shake it.
It's actually it's interesting you didn't do a oil filter relocation kit, because it's actually a lot more room in this engine bay
There's
than
so much more room in this
R32
engine bay,
or R33.
Yeah, it's because it's rear-wheel drive as well. There's no other front diff or anything in here, but the car is a little bit. I don't think it's wider, but I think it's definitely more open in the engine bay. You're able to get to everything pretty accessible.
I have permanent scars on my arm from
I got
changing.
scars too from my old cars with massive hands.
Yeah. Okay, so how much power does it actually make then? I wouldn't be able to guess, because it's like nothing, like it feels like 150 horsepower, and then it feels like 1,000,000 horsepower.
It's funny you say that. It actually made, I think, 200 horsepower, 3,000 RPMs, and we're like, and then we pushed it, it ended up making 501 at the back tire, exactly 501, 26 pounds of boost at 7,200 RPMs.
I gotta say, you're definitely not lying. It's every bit of those 501 horsepowers. On top of that, I'm surprised it just doesn't blow off the tires.
Yeah, no.
In second gear, I know it'll blow off the tires in first gear, easy, right?
Yeah.
But in second gear, maybe because it's such a long
it's
gearing, because it is a R34 transmission. But what's the rear end?
It is the same. I think it's Nissan R200. I think it's called. It's the same thing as the 240. It's got the 5-bolt axles and everything. I think J20 axles fit in this thing, so I have a set sitting for when I inevitably blow them up. But it holds it pretty well. Luckily, fingers crossed, it's holding up for now. So I've been beating it up at this power level for a few months now. So, and I'm not that easy on the car when I drive it ever.
Well, especially at the drag races. So what does this rev out to?
72. We kept at the factory red line. I could definitely push it a little bit more, but I didn't do any oiling or anything when I was in the engine. I kept the engine bone stock. Everyone online says change this, change that. And then there's a big group of guys that say the 25 Neo is exactly fine the way it is. So I went that route. I used to build engines too, so if something happens, I'll just rebuild it.
Okay. John, there's just so many cool things to talk about. Oh, you know what's interesting is I just realized I don't think I've ever seen a 4-door with a no B-pillar.
Yeah, there's not many cars out there like this. I know the old Lincoln Continentals, there's a few BMWs mixed in there, but this was definitely a weird one for Nissan.
It's just like a piece of metal sticking out here, holding the rear door. I
It's,
just didn't even think about that.
Shut the front door and look how sketchy it is. It actually, that's why it didn't make it to America.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
The whole thing moves.
Yeah, that's definitely not
okay. So then there's no real side impact.
No. You can get very hurt in this thing. So that's why it's...
Okay, all right. That's good to know. Seats, are these stock?
These are the original seats. The car when I got it had about 60,000 miles on it. Surprisingly, everything was in decent condition on the inside. So all the seats, all the door cards, everything's original fabric.
I'm surprised there's not a bunch of cigarette burns
Yeah,
on
I
these.
think there was one, but I was able to repair it. I'm pretty sure this still folds down. Come on, the bike wheel. Yeah, nice.
I wish you guys could smell it. I wish there was smell-o-vision because this smells like a 90s
Yeah.
Nissan.
Yeah.
You know what? It smells like a Japanese taxi.
Yep, yeah, exactly. It's got that like sort of, you can't pinpoint the smell, you can't bottle the smell, but it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the first things I did too was I added the VIP tray because it was no cup holders, and I like to drink things a lot. But
I like that you
the
have the
flare.
Japanese flare.
Yep. Yeah, I try to keep it all, tied together.
And then the floor mats.
Yeah, those are made by the guys over at Imperial. They are perfect fitment for the car. I was surprised. They were originally advertised as R32 ones, but I test fit them and they work great.
Yeah. So then it comes with that whole piece in the back and everything.
Yeah. Ties it together really nice.
Wow. Nismo shift knob.
Yeah.
So what are all the other little things here?
So the biggest one was the wood grain. My buddy Adam Benini, he ended up rewrapping all the wood grain with wood vinyl. So it's actually replacement vinyl. Originally the car was an automatic car, so it had a different center console. So I sourced the center console from Russia. The highest trim package, the Metalist, was the only one that came with the wood grain. So we had to rewrap the center console to match the wood grain. Besides that, I have a knockoff Nismo 3D printed little kill switch in there because I couldn't justify spending big bucks on a piece of plastic.
I love that you save money when it
doesn't make sense.
Yeah, when it doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
and then you splurge on certain things.
The shift knob is a Nismo titanium $500 GT style shift knob, and I'm like, it's weird how I do things. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then
Because this is something that you couldn't make.
yeah. That's just a little outside my skill set.
Yeah.
But I think the shift boots were Vertex, if I remember correctly. GK Tech e-brake handle, just tied all together.
So this only came in manual in Russia? Or
No. It only came with. It didn't come factory turbo with a manual. So it only came turbo automatic or manual non-turbo, or automatic non-turbo. But the center console is unique to automatic versus manual. So I needed to make sure that it fit correctly. I didn't want to hack something up.
And you just happened to find one in Russia?
Yeah, there was a guy that had one online, and I was able to source it. It was actually brown. We painted it, so it matched. I tried to age it a little bit so it doesn't look, painted.
Yeah, it's just this piece then.
Yeah, this whole thing.
Oh, it's the
back.
whole thing.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, if you notice, the fabrics are slightly different. I'm in the middle of messing with fabrics. I rewrapped the dash and the cover just to get it close, but that's next on the list.
Did you age this?
Yeah, I tried to age everything so it fit. It's weird to try to do stuff like that.
I see the wear here.
Yep, yeah.
This is like your arm. It's kind of funny. It's one of the first things that I guess as an auto journalist, one of the first things that I wrote about is the fact that it's like suited to your style, and it took however many years for you to get it to this way with your elbow.
Yeah.
But in your case, you probably just sat there with something to kind of age it.
Like an old sponge that I had because it was like a little dirty, but it wasn't grungy, and I was like, let's make it a little bit, so it didn't look totally out of place. So it worked fine. You look at it, you're like, yeah, that's how it should be.
Well, this is how you spend your nights. Like, this is your hobby.
We're usually up every night. I go to my buddy's shop, Anthony, at like 7 o'clock, and we're there most nights, no exaggeration, till 1 or 2 in the morning. Just, working on our cars and making them happen.
You are helping all of us keep car culture alive. Like, for those of you guys watching this at home, like, go out and work on your car,
Hey, you can't stop.
If this doesn't inspire people to work on their car, I don't know what will.
I appreciate that.
I love all the JDM stickers. Are a lot of these original?
Yep, yeah, those are all original to the car. They came when it was shipped over. Surprisingly, all this was in aged condition, but decent condition, all the writing and everything. The Tomei wheel I added, that came off my Subaru, but it was one of those things that it aesthetically fit the car. And the cluster is a big one. That I cut apart a R32 Nismo GTR cluster just to get that 260 kilometer per hour tack, or mile per hour. And then in addition, we 3D printed that little shift light in the center.
Yeah.
So it lights up green at, I think, 55, and then yellow at 6 or 63, and then red around 68.
It climbs honestly so fast too.
Yeah, yep.
Like when you're explaining it, it's like red then green then no, it's
It's boop boop boop.
yeah, it's you know, it
You
just
might not
pops
have
up.
noticed it, but the
Yeah.
red actually flashes too.
Oh,
So it's one
okay.
of those things. You know, when I drive and beat the crap out of the car, sometimes I'm just hanging in the green and I'm like, you know,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I painted the other needles so that way it matched. The fonts aren't perfect, but it was just one of those subtle touches that the car needed.
So
you know.
I noticed this does have an AC compressor. Does that mean the AC works?
AC works and blows ice cold. Yep. Can't have a street car without having AC.
And is it on R12 or?
It was R12. We actually just converted it 2 weeks ago to 134.
And
It
still
finally
works?
looked out. Yeah, works. Everything blows
Oh.
ice cold. It's funny you say that because I had an issue last week with the switch not working anymore. The harness in the car is the factory harness that came with the car. We actually ripped apart that entire module to track the board. All the pinouts are not available for this car. So we were able to see exactly where the board went, and we hardwired it to the compressor, to the relay. So.
And what is this? Is this a
Oh,
turbo
so that
timer?
one is the turbo timer on the top, and then the car actually has blitz spark lights. So it's got that strobe light feature that you see on like a lot of the old drift videos from the 90s.
Yeah.
The marker lights will flash in weird patterns. The little box is mounted on the engine bay. I'll point that out too to you. But yeah, that was one of those things that everyone has on their shelf, you know, collectors, and no one puts it on their car. And I bought one and put it on my car.
I'm so blown away. There's just so many things.
Yeah, little things.
About this car that make it so special. Is this a lifer car for you? Do you think you'll have this for?
It took me 5 years to find this one, and I think this one's sticking around for quite a while.
Okay.
I've had a bunch of people, as you can imagine, try to buy it off me, but I don't think I can let this one go. This one's
No.
definitely special, and it's a good reflection of who I am as a person, and you know, my skill sets and abilities and all that.
Yeah, and I think you could probably work hard enough to retain this
Oh,
and
yeah,
keep
yeah,
this
yeah,
going.
yeah,
you know,
it's
and I'm
definitely,
sure it's a constantly evolving beast. One other thing that I noticed is how uncracked the dash
Yeah,
is.
that's definitely, a lot of the other Laurel guys got cracked dashes. I'm missing a little vent over here, but I'm going to 3D print that soon. But yeah, when I saw this, when I sat in it the first time, that was one of the things that just stands out. You know, you don't realize it until you get in and you start looking around. You're like, damn, this isn't a 240. You know,
Yeah.
This thing is, you know, it's holding together.
It doesn't really. So do you just cover it normally, or do you never really park it in the
There's
sun?
a McGuire's product that's got UV protector in it that I put on it, but it sits outside. I don't garage this thing either.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so it just sits in front of my house.
No way.
Yep, yeah.
Poor
Yeah.
car.
I wash it every once in a while.
Yeah.
Wax it, maintain it.
New York
So,
things.
New York, yeah.
Yeah. At least you're on Long Island.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh. Okay. Cool. Well, in closing, this is such a badass car. Yeah, there's just so many things about it. Thank you so much for bringing
welcome.
this out.
Thank you for having
Thanks for
me on.
letting me drive this.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, not many people get to drive it, so I'm happy you got to enjoy it.
Yeah,
experience it.
I'm glad I got to drive it, but I couldn't imagine how violent this is.
Yeah, no.
When you drop the clutch in first gear
Yeah.
on a drag strip.
Yeah.
It's got to be insane.
It's
huh?
definitely, especially with the lack of rigidity in the car, you feel it. It's definitely.
What do you mean lack of rigidity? What do you mean?
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's definitely a fun car. You know, it's all around. You know, I tried to incorporate that Japanese street style into the car, and the best compliment I got was I forgot the name of that parking lot in Japan where they have the big car show.
Daikoku.
Exactly, I cannot pronounce that. I'm not even gonna try. Somebody said this car looks like it was picked up and brought over here exactly like that.
So this is kind of one of those cars I always love to talk about. Where why would you save this? You know, why
Yeah.
was this not crushed
Yeah.
so many years ago? Because in essence, this wasn't an extraordinary car at all,
Yeah,
but
no.
you made it extraordinary, right?
Yeah, like I said, when I got it, it was bone stock, so it's cool. I like when people, you know, bring cars over here that are, you know, GTRs and Skyline stuff like that, but there's not many of these left. They're beautiful cars when they're done right, and the parts are still in that window where you can get them if you try hard enough, but you know, it's not a dead platform. So it's a good time in the car's life to restore it to this point and maintain it. And the car deserves it. You know, like I said, it was a low miles car and no rust anything.
Yeah, you're preserving history, but you're doing it in a fun way.
Yeah, I'm making it my own. I'm not keeping it factory, you know.
Yeah. You are making your own, and I love that you have your New York registration here, and then your like Japanese stuff still on it.
Yeah, same thing with like the license plate in the back, just the
Yeah.
Japanese one and the New York one.
Yeah.
Yeah. trying to work within the laws. You know, I was going to tint the car, but New York, they give you a headache about that, so I just left it, you know, fishbowling it.
Yeah. What do the cops say when they have you seen any?
It's funny you say that. I got pulled over twice with the car. Once, some person I was seeing was in the passenger seat texting, and the cop thought that it was driving texting. The cop walked up to the window. He goes, "The phone, you're on the other side," and just walked away.
Yeah.
And then just left. He turned his lights off and left, and it was probably
No way.
yeah, it was the funniest thing. I was sitting there like, "You were texting, weren't you?" And she was like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Great." The second time I got pulled over, a cop wanted to see it. So
Really?
that was it. Yeah, nice police officer. You know, I don't speed on the street or anything. You know, driving normal, so I stay out of harm's way. But you know, it was definitely a funny experience when that one happened. And I'm sitting there panicking, like I didn't do anything. You know, worried something's gonna happen to the car, and they're like, "This thing's beautiful." I'm like, yeah. So
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, because in Japan, this potentially could have been a taxi or somebody's daily driver.
yeah, it's hard to find the back history, but I found like a whole bunch of like I think it was like receipts for like a grocery store or something in there, and I'm like, this is weird. It was something I couldn't identify, but I'm like, it's definitely some normal person's car. Like they didn't, you know. So I don't know.
I think that's kind of what's happening a lot with a lot of these
Yeah.
cars that may not be special, may
Yeah.
not be so loved, but
Yeah.
as they age to 25 years, you know, they're kind of getting to our shores, and
Yeah.
we're making something special about them. So yeah, thank you so much for bringing this out. What a great car to drive, and I'm just so happy that you have it. I can't wait to see the evolution of this thing.
Thank you.
And maybe one day we'll see it at the track.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
definitely try to find you guys one day and, you know, let you beat on it a little more. Hopefully it's making a little more power then, you know.
Woo!